Hello there, gods and amazing, beautiful goddesses of your reality. Welcome back. This is Manifest with Jenny and Nutritious Lives. Apologies if the appliances in the background are very loud, but yeah, a mom's got to do all this washing still. So yes, I will apologise. Today's video is about resistance. Now, I have talked about resistance in the past. I've touched on it quite a little, well, quite a bit, but people are reaching out to me because I feel like fundamentally it's still lost on a lot of people. So I'm going to do the basics to start off with of what, my interpretation, of course, of what resistance is. Now, this is a universal, description of resistance in the manifestation world, but we all have, especially us coaches, we all have our own interpretation. Here we go again, sorry guys. We've all got our own interpretation of manifestation and putting our desires out. And because we've all got individual brains and we've all got individual experiences, we can only apply it through our own vision, right? So, you know, you'll watch certain videos with other coaches, and the general gist of it, if you're a good coach, is more or less the same, but it's just we tell it a different way from our own interpretation, and this is all that I can come from. But because I understand it now, I can really articulate it a little bit better to you guys. So resistance in its basic form is fundamentally anything where we put our desires out to manifest our desires, and there is there's a voice in our head, our ego mind, right, our lovely ego, saying we're not going to get that desire, we can't get that desire because of X, Y, Z circumstances. No, our ego can't work out how we could possibly get our desire, because that's what the ego does. Right, so fundamentally, you know, like I'll tell you, everything, our experiences, it's all running on autopilot from our subconscious. We get all this data of the people that we are from the subconscious, and then our ego works with us to say yay or nay. And unfortunately, the ego tends to work on a very pessimistic way of dealing with things to keep us alive, which I've talked about in the past. So we know what this is all about. We put a desire out and we've never experienced it before, and our ego is automatically going to say, oh no, we can't do that, we've never done that in the past, that's going to be way too hard for us. So this is what resistance is. Now, my idea and my interpretation, and as I've gone on my journey of resistance, is changing and evolving like everything within this manifesting journey, right? So what I believed, I understood of resistance in the early days to what I understand it to be now, it's evolving, it's changing, like it will do for you when you persist with a new story, when you persist with your desires and you don't let resistance take you away from your desire. And what I mean by that is, for me, I want to, I'll tell you what, how I'll start this is I'll tell you, for example, I told you about how I, in one of the videos when I was away, that I manifested an upgrade in the room, which is a typical thing that I did. But I told you how I had to create a plan B. So resistance come up, which is natural, right? Anytime we put a desire out, if we have an experience, there's always experienced it in our 3D, there's always going to be a level of resistance to it. Right, mate, what's going on today? I feel like I'm going to be attacked here. I haven't manifested that, guys. What's all this noise? Anyway, we shall move on. Anytime we put any desire out, the bigger the desire, the more resistance we tend to have. So hence, this is why when we're putting out a desire for a specific person, for example, it's very heightened, our emotion is very heightened. But for today, I'm just going to use that example of when I was manifesting an upgraded room when I was away. Now, what I neglected to tell you and what I understand now is when I get resistance, because I'm used to the resistance being there now, and my brain automatically goes, hey up, there's a bit of resistance going on here, then it alerts me to that. So I then understand what I have to do. I understand I have to self-soothe. I understand that I have to put a slight little bit of a plan B in place, but then push that aside to say, yeah, we've got the plan B inside, thank you ego, good. Can you see plan B? So we're good now, we can lower resistance and keep on going and persisting in that what I desire. Now when I was on holiday, obviously I told you that the room that I desired, we didn't get, but we got the one next door. So I was fine with that. When that room became available, I could have persisted. I could have taken the resistance down some more to get into that exact room that I wanted. But as it turned out, I was okay with the room next door, so that was fine. So I just carried on. It was a success in my mind, right? But I also wanted to tell you, which dovetails in with people reaching out to me, not really understanding resistance. I wanted to say that is advanced. You know, the stage that I've got to now, it's quite advanced and it's quite complex. And I think when you're in the early stages of dealing with resistance and this manifesting journey as a whole, you can't really make head and tail of all these concepts because there's so many of them. So for today's video, I want to tell you, assuming, I shouldn't really assume, but I want to tell the people who have been reaching out to me that don't really understand resistance, I assume are at quite the early part of their journey. Because if you're in the later stages like myself, you understand what resistance is fully, and as I say, it changes and you know exactly how to deal with it. But I wanted to tell you, if you're at this early stage of your journey, how I dealt with resistance in the early stage was to come back to the neutral affirmations. You don't believe in manifestation when you first start your journey. I've talked about this also, and I want to reiterate this. It's a big act of faith, and this is another word I want you to really incorporate into your practice. Is say to yourself, I'm walking with faith. Now this lowers resistance. The beautiful neutral affirmations like everything always works out for me, I'm a master manifester, you know, the universe always takes care of me. These neutral affirmations that blanket that everything is going to be okay and you will get your desires, right? Then because of the heightened resistance you have at the start, you need to do it in a very soft way, and this is what I did, and that allows you to persist on to then get past those moments, because that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get to the next state where we've got over that with our thoughts and our feelings changing, because our thoughts and our feelings always change, guys. So when the next thought and feeling comes in and that's more favourable and more conducive to your desires, then you will be in that space where you understood that that's what you needed to do, and you kind of build on that as you go. Now I want to tell you an exciting thing that I've added in now with regards to the resistance and taking away the resistance in the moments. And it's relatively new, but again, as I say, you're evolving, you're building your muscle. It's like going to the gym. You know, this manifesting journey is building your muscles to be able to understand the brain and rewire the brain. But now, because you don't fully believe, this is why saying to yourself, belief leads to faith leads to belief. I got it. Because you're not seeing it in your 3D environment, but when it comes in, that is when you believe it. So that lowers resistance within itself, because you say things to yourself like, well, manifestation's real. I know it's real because I've experienced it. So you're constantly letting down that resistance. But we all go through moments. We're only human, and we've got a brain, we've got a subconscious with the programming, and we've got our ego. And our ego's job is always to sort of, bless the ego, make it slightly hard for us to get our desires. We're human. It's trying to keep us alive. So what I want to advise you to do is, when you get to that place where you've manifested and then you solidify within your brain, oh my God, manifestation is real. It's only bloody real. It's only magic, and it's coming to my environment. I feel it. I know it. It's real. When you have a moment like that and you are ecstatic and you're excited and you're like, oh God, like this is the best thing since sliced bread, I want you to then focus on the other aspects of your life that you're struggling with bringing in your desires, whether that's money, whether that's an SP, according to your own programming and your stumbling blocks and your resistance. I want you to then focus in that beautiful moments when you're on cloud 9. I want you to focus on the other areas of your life that you're struggling in. Now, because you're in that stage, you're in a heightened stage, your vibrations up there, you can look at it from a clearer perspective. And this is another conclusion that I've come to, which is amazing. It's special, it's magical. And from that state, you can see solutions. It's almost like inspired thought. When I talk about inspired action, it's inspired thought, because you're coming from a different angle. Your vibration of being down there and can't see how a desire could come in, to actually be your vibration being raised and then realizing that manifestation's real. It's night and day. So utilize it in those moments. And watch how, the resistance to that area that you're stumbling on, watch how that changes. It's really magical. I keep saying it and I'm so excited. But yeah, I'm going to finish it there. I hope that I answered the questions to the people who've been reaching out to me about resistance. You're maybe not going to fully get where I'm at the moment, but sometimes we just need to really articulate to the brain, this is how it works, because we've not experienced it. So sometimes listening to a coach like me, you can say, right, I can't see it working right now, but I know this is going to be the chain of events to get me there. So again, I know I've sort of put a lot of words in this one. I hope I made it. I'm intending on making it as understandable as I possibly can. But if there is any questions, please reach out to me. I'm always on hand, and you can see all my enthusiasm for it and for you. So sending you lots of unconditional love as per usual. Please like, subscribe and click the little bell icon so when I upload videos they come straight to you. And I will see you in the next one.